For 6 months, I couldn't sleep. Everything's a copy of a copy of a copy.
All right, let's get real for a second. Have you ever felt like your job is less living the dream and more surviving the nightmare? If just thinking about work makes you want to hit the snooze button on life itself, congrats, you're officially part of a club no one wants to join. Burnout is real, toxic workplaces are everywhere, and honestly, it's time we called it out. Think about it. We spend a solid third of our waking lives working. That's a lot of hours to spend in a place that feels like it's actively trying to ruin your vibe. Toxic environments hit hard. Constant stress, feeling like a cog in the machine, managers who couldn't lead a conga line, and coworkers who treat you like background noise. All that, it chips away at your mental health, messes with your relationships, and makes you question your entire existence. Like, bro, who signed us up for this DLC? But here's the plot twist. You're not doomed to live in the I hate my job simulation forever. Today, we're diving into how to survive your toxic workplace arc, how to take back control, and maybe even how to use this experience to level up IRL. You deserve better than this nonsense. So let's figure out how to get you there. It's time to stop being the NPC in someone else's story and start being the main character in yours. Let's go. A toxic workplace isn't just uncomfortable, it's like that one app running in the background, slowly draining all your energy without you even noticing. Let's start with burnout. You know that feeling like no matter how much effort you put in, it's never enough? That's burnout at its finest. When you're juggling endless demands, long hours, and absolutely zero pats on the back, it's like trying to fill a bucket with a giant crack in the bottom. You keep pouring everything in, but nothing sticks. And the worst part? It doesn't just mess with your productivity, it starts hitting you where it really hurts. Insomnia, random aches, constant anxiety, and even full-blown depression can sneak in. Suddenly, even writing a simple email feels like you're scaling Mount Everest in flip-flops. And let's talk about how work has this sneaky way of creeping into every corner of your life. Before you know it, your job and your identity are practically the same thing. Maybe you've caught yourself thinking, if I'm not good at my job, what even is the point of me? When things go well, it's like you're on top of the world. But the second something goes wrong, it feels like everything is falling apart. This mindset can trap you. It makes you stay in bad situations longer than you should. Convince yourself that this is just how it is, or even justify being treated badly because you think it's part of growing or proving yourself. Over time, it gets harder and harder to remember who you are outside of work, and that's a dangerous place to be. Here's the real plot twist. The effects of a toxic workplace don't just poof and disappear the moment you clock out for good. Nope, they love to linger, like that awkward coworker who doesn't get social cues. We're talking long-term stuff here. Shattered self-esteem, imposter syndrome, that little voice whispering, you're not good enough, and a fear of new opportunities so strong it makes you want to ghost your own LinkedIn profile. It's like carrying around a backpack full of invisible bricks. Every decision feels heavier, every challenge looks bigger, and applying for that new job? Forget it. You're too busy arguing with your inner critic to even hit submit. Here's the good news. You don't have to carry that baggage forever. Recognizing the impact of a toxic job is like flipping on a light in a dark room. It's the first step to figuring out what's been holding you back and how to fix it. Healing doesn't mean waking up one day feeling magically amazing. It's about taking small, steady steps to rebuild your confidence and trust in yourself. And guess what? You don't have to do it alone. Whether it's leaning on friends, seeking advice, or finding resources, there's a way forward. The goal isn't just to move on, it's to create a life and a work environment that actually values you. Surviving a toxic workplace can feel like you're stuck in a battle royale, but here's the plot twist. You're not fighting alone. There are real practical strategies that can help you get through this without losing your sanity or your sense of humor. Let's break it down into steps that might actually make your daily grind a little less, grindy. First up, setting boundaries. And no, not just the I'm going to block my coworker on Slack kind, although honestly, that might help too. This is about separating you from your job. Start by reminding yourself of all the things that make you awesome outside of work. Your hobbies, your relationships, your weirdly specific knowledge of obscure TV shows, whatever. Then, put a stake in the ground when it comes to work hours. Create clear start and stop times for your day, and treat them like VIP appointments with yourself. Want to make it stick? Try a simple ritual, like brewing a cup of tea, changing into comfy clothes, or even playing a victory song when you log off. These small actions signal to your brain that work is done and you're officially off the clock. Next, let's talk about finding tiny pockets of peace in your day. Because even in the middle of the chaos, you deserve a breather. These little moments of relief can be game changers. Try a quick stretch, some mindful breathing, or even just closing your eyes for a few seconds and pretending you're anywhere but your office. One trick? The 4-7-8 breathing technique. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold it for 7, and exhale slowly for 8. It's like a mental reset button, and you can do it anywhere. Yes, even in the middle of a passive-aggressive team meeting. Oh, and don't forget to sprinkle in some joy throughout the day. Whether it's blasting your favorite song, stepping outside for a quick walk, or sneaking in a snack that feels way too indulgent for a Tuesday, these small moments remind you that life is about more than just work. Finally, let's talk about building your crew. No one should face a toxic workplace solo. It's like trying to win a team sport all by yourself. Having someone to talk to, whether it's to vent, brainstorm, or just laugh about the ridiculousness of it all, can make a world of difference. Hit up friends, family, or anyone you trust to be in your corner. And hey, if your current circle isn't quite up for the task, the internet's got your back. There are online communities full of people who've been in the trenches and get it. These spaces remind you that 1. You're not crazy, 2. You're not alone, and 3. There are ways to handle this mess. Plus, they can give you some solid advice, or at least some relatable memes. The key is to remember that surviving a toxic environment isn't about fixing everything overnight. It's about finding little pockets of air to breathe, even when the room feels suffocating. These strategies won't magically make everything perfect, but they'll help you stay afloat while you plan your next move. Because surviving is only step 1. It's about keeping yourself steady until you're ready to step into something better. And here's the exciting part. Surviving is just the beginning. Once you've left this situation behind, you're not just surviving anymore, you're thriving. Let's talk about how to turn the page and build the kind of life and work environment that actually deserves you. Next up, turning the pain of that toxic job into a life lesson. Because hey, if you're gonna go through it, you might as well get something out of it, right? Take some time to think about what you learned. What are your non-negotiables moving forward? Maybe you've realized you're done putting up with micromanagers, or that grind culture is a hard pass. Write it down literally. Treat it like a personal playbook for spotting red flags and staying true to what you want in a job. It's not about carrying bitterness into the future. It's about carrying wisdom. Because let's face it, now you're way better at sniffing out bad vibes before they turn into a full-blown hurricane. If you're still stuck in that toxic work vortex, first off, deep breath. You're not alone, and you're not powerless. Planning your exit is key, and it doesn't have to be an all-or-nothing leap of faith. Start small, like building a financial cushion. Even a tiny safety net can make a huge difference when the time comes to bounce. Next, show some love to your LinkedIn profile. Yes, it's time to dust it off, and reconnect with old colleagues. Those "hey, how's it going" messages can lead to surprising opportunities. And while you're at it, start exploring roles or industries that actually spark some curiosity. Even if it feels like starting from scratch, every tiny step counts. The trick? Break it all into bite-sized pieces. Celebrate every win, no matter how small, like reaching out to a mentor, finishing a course, or even landing a coffee chat with someone in a field you admire. Having a roadmap doesn't just give you an exit strategy, it gives you back a sense of control over your future. And let's be real, in a toxic workplace, that alone can feel like a game changer. But what if leaving still feels like some far-off dream? That's okay. Don't lose heart. Small steps add up, even when progress feels slow. The key is to remember that you deserve so much more than a job that makes you question your worth. Keep the hope alive, even if it's just a flicker for now, and focus on taking that next tiny step forward. Because here's the truth, it's not just about surviving, it's about finding that spark of hope again and inching closer to a future that feels good. You've got this. Take a second for yourself right now. Seriously, pause for a beat, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and let this sink in. Your job does not define you. It doesn't measure your worth, dictate your qualities, or set any kind of limit on what you can achieve. You're so much more than deadlines, KPIs, or that fancy title on your email signature. You're your passions, the things that make you laugh until your stomach hurts, the love you give and receive, and all the little and big wins that make you you. Don't let a toxic workplace dull your shine or make you forget just how incredible you are. You deserve to be valued for all the right reasons. Because you're already amazing, with or without the job. And listen, if you're feeling totally wiped out, lost, or like the tank is running on fumes, know this. There's zero shame in asking for help. Sometimes talking to a mental health professional can feel like flipping the reset button on your brain. They're there to listen, no judgment, no agenda, and help you sort through all the messiness a toxic environment can leave behind. It's a powerful reminder that your well-being isn't just important, it's the priority. The energy you've been spending just to survive in a tough situation, it deserves a new purpose. You, your happiness, your peace of mind, your health, you are 100% worthy of that care and attention. And above all, just remember this, you're never alone. This space exists for you, to support you, to hear your story, and to remind you that whatever you're going through, someone out there gets it. Sharing what's on your mind can be surprisingly freeing. Who knows? Your words might be the exact thing someone else needs to hear to feel a little less lost. So leave a comment, share your story, or pass this video along to someone who could use a little encouragement today. Together, we can build a community that's all about support, hope, and moving forward. The storm you're in, it won't last forever. You've got the strength to weather it, and there are brighter days waiting for you on the other other side. And here's the thing, the challenges you're facing today, they don't cancel out the amazing possibilities of your future. Every step you take, no matter how small, toward getting through this tough moment is like planting seeds for your own happiness. What feels impossible right now? One day, it's going to look like a life lesson that made you stronger, smarter, and more prepared for what's ahead. So be patient with yourself. Celebrate every little win, even if it's just getting out of bed or making it through the day. Every step forward counts. The future is full of opportunities waiting for you to grab them. And you know what? You deserve a life that doesn't just make you smile, it makes you light up. Well, here we are, at the end of our chat. But hey, just because this conversation is wrapping up doesn't mean it has to end here. We've covered a lot today, how toxic workplaces can mess with your head, heart, and soul, but also how to fight back, rebuild, and most importantly, thrive. The big takeaways? Set those boundaries, find little moments to breathe, build your support squad, and start plotting your great escape, metaphorically speaking, unless you actually need an escape plan. And remember this above all else, you are so much more than your job. Seriously, now it's your turn. What stuck with you? Did any of this hit close to home? Share your story in the comments. It could be the thing that helps someone else feel less alone. And if you know someone who could use this little dose of hope and real talk, send this video their way. Let's get this message out there because no one should feel stuck in a toxic environment without a way forward. Before you go though, you know the drill. Subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, it's just sitting there waiting for you, and turn on notifications so we can keep these conversations going. Thanks for hanging out with me today. It means a lot. And hey, don't forget, you deserve happiness, both at work and in life. So take care of yourself, okay? Because at the end of the day, you are the main character here.